Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pie Guy and Brodeur. One voice, two minds. I'm your host, Pie Guy, and before we begin, always remember you can find the rest of these spectacular episodes and this one-of-a-kind podcast on YouTube, on that Brodeurland YouTube channel, and of course, Spotify. Now, today on this episode, we're going to be talking about the word self-reliance. That's right. And we are going to talk about what it exactly means and how we can apply it into our everyday lives. Now, to help me do this on this episode, I will be circling around to the one, the only, Brodeur of Brodeurland, Mr. Brodeur. Hey, Pie Guy, that's right. We're going to be talking all about self-reliance. And you know what, Pie Guy? This word is next level. Next level, Mr. Brodeur? Yes, Pie Guy, next level. Because you know what? This word of self-reliance is going to require you to jump, to grow to the next level. It's going to require you to take all those previous words of the week we've talked about to this point, and even after, all those previous experiences that you have experienced in your life, the knowledge you have consumed to this point in your life's journey, and really allow yourself to spread your wings, to see what you're made of, and to see how far you can go. Self-reliance is next level, Pie Guy. Man, Mr. Brodeur. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm ready to dive on in. I'm ready to slice into it and really dissect it and understand it with you. So, you know what? Without further ado, Mr. Brodeur, let's start things off just like we usually do with these words of the week. And the first question is, what does it mean? What does it mean, Mr. Brodeur, to have self-reliance? How can I be more self-reliant in my life? Yes, Pie Guys. So let's start again, like we do with all these episodes, with that Brodeurland definition. So when I look at the definition for self-reliance, it goes like this. You have to be able to trust in your own efforts, in your own abilities, rather than just depending on others. You got to go out there. You got to believe in yourself, and you've got to trust in yourself. Now, Pie Guy, some people may say after this definition, Mr. Brodeur, you're telling us to ignore others? You know what, Mr. Brodeur? I was just thinking that. I feel like this is almost like you're telling us don't listen to others and go out there and just do you. Well, Pie Guy, that's why I want to talk about this. This is why I want to pause a little bit and talk about this particular part of the definition. Because here's the deal. We should always be open to feedback and always be willing to get better and listen to those mentors, those teachers, those people that are trying to make us better. But what I'm trying to tell you is there comes a point, especially when you're trying to gain self-reliance and really grow and allow this word to really live in your life, that you got to be willing to eventually to trust in your abilities, those skills, those experiences, whether you gain those from those mentors or teachers or those experiences through your life. And you got to start believing in yourself so you can take those teachable moments, like I said, from those mentors, from those teachers, from those coaches, and use them to better yourself. You see, those mentors and those supportive people, yes, they're great, but they're not going to be with you 24/7. They're not going to be with you all the time. And you have to get to that point where you have built confidence in yourself to believe and really spread your wings, like I hinted towards earlier in this episode, right? To try and see what happens. All right, I see, Mr. Brodeur. So self-reliance is all about getting to the point where you can use those past experiences, your past skills, maybe your current skills, knowledge we've obtained with the help of others, and really be able to spread our wings to jump. And I guess what you're trying to say is see what we're made of. Exactly, Pie Guy. And see, when you get a good foundation through experiences and learning, then you can start to come up with your own ideas, your own strategies, and really learn to create and build your own success. And for me, if we're just kind of looking at, my own experience, I would say Brodeurland right here is that success, something that was birthed through these words of the week and really some self-reliance in my own life. All right, Mr. Brodeur, so let me ask you this. You mentioned Brodeurland. So did Brodeurland get created, I guess you could say, through self-reliance? Well, that's a great question, Pie Guy. So, in the moment, if I go back to 2023 and that time period where all this was kind of being formed and happening, I would say at the beginning, I would have told you, I don't know, maybe, maybe not, right? But when I look back, when I reflect, and just thinking about this question being asked to me right now, I would say, you know what? Most definitely, yes. Self-reliance was almost requirement, was almost necessary. And even if I didn't realize it at the time, was probably the spark or one of those sparks that helped ignite Brodeurland and especially myself in this journey that I've been on. Well, Mr. Brodeur, if you don't mind, can you share how self-reliance helped build Brodeurland and even your confidence? Yeah, sure thing, Pie Guy. So, like I shared before, Brodeurland was formed, and started by bringing my previous experiences growing up and learning as a kid, and even some experiences as an adult, right? Because we're always learning. We're lifelong learners, right? And so if I go back to some of my childhood experiences, whether it's seeing Greg Russell, and if you don't know who Greg Russell is, he's a summertime musician at Hilton Head Island where I used to vacation every summer growing up, and my parents lived there, and I bring my children there, and he's still performing. And he does this kind of kid concert there for those that vacation in the summer and, during those fall breaks and Christmas breaks and things like that. And so I took a lot of those experiences and what he does on stage, as well as what I learned from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, to getting good at music in my experience in being in band, building my confidence in these skills, in these lessons that I've watched and listened to, whether it's from experts on really building yourself or masters in their traits, right? All of this gave me confidence to jump out, to light a spark, and really believe in myself and try out my own ideas, my own strategies, and eventually evolve into what we call Brodeurland right now. So, Mr. Brodeur, is it safe to say that self-reliance does not happen overnight? Yes, most definitely, Pie Guy. Like I shared, self-reliance, it takes time. It takes experience, right? From the few examples I listed a minute ago, all those experiences range from age 7 until now. And to be honest, keeps going, right? I'm constantly learning. It is crazy. I would not have thought years ago I would have taken the template of a summertime music concert experience with Greg Russell, right? And copied his show outline and structure from my class, my math class, and even the idea of music, right? Even the same with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, with the intro and the exit songs that I use in Brodeurland on a weekly basis. Even my words of the week, I got those from Mr. Rogers in the sense of creating a theme of the week. And so I researched and I thought, okay, what would be some great words of the week to create themes of the week here in Brodeurland? Very similar to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And everything you experience that's good throughout your life, you can learn from and reproduce. But do it with your own twist and really trust yourself. And you know what? Let me not get too ahead of myself, because I did say experience that is good. Even bad experiences, even those mistakes, Pie Guy, you can learn from in your life. You can always gain good experiences from what works and, of course, what doesn't work. So you can try new approaches. You can try new strategies. You can get creative. Don't set limits. Build that self-reliance. Push yourself, like I said earlier, to that next level. Pie-tacular, Mr. Brodeur. I love it. That idea of you reflecting and learning from childhood to adulthood, those experiences that really help shape and create strategies to create, I guess you could say, an artistic and interesting Brodeurland idea, right? I mean, I want to say Brodeurland is your proof of self-reliance and really putting it to practice. Yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, Pie Guy, I mean, that totally makes sense. And the key is, like I said a second ago, you can't set limits on yourself. So many people will say, hey, I'm not going to get many views, or I don't really see much progress. You can't let that get in the way. You can't let those thoughts stop you or set limits to where you're like, I'm done, game over, right? You know what? I see my videos, this podcast, all that I seek out and try. I look at it as like a formation, as practice to get better, to learn from, and to see where I can go. Just like a person that wants to go and weight train, right? A lot of people may not see them weight train, go to the gym, work out, lift those weights, but they may see that final product, them using those skills out in competition in that sport or whatever they do, right? That's what I look at when I look at all that I've done. Sure, maybe some videos weren't the greatest. Maybe right now it's just the beginning of the Brodeurland that is going to be 5 years from now. And that's awesome. Like I said, this right here is my training, my formation, so I can get better. But along the way, if other people are following me, they can get better with me as well. Mr. Brodeur, I love it. I love this idea of working out and really kind of making this kind of a formation experience. Beautiful. Yes, Pie Guy. And to me, that's self-reliance. Can I get to that stage in my life where I can push myself forward and go out on a limb by myself, right? Yes, I have those times where I need to fall back, maybe go to a mentor, maybe get some insight. But can I really spread my wings, push myself forward, and really see what I'm made out of? You know, for example, Pie Guy, when I first set out to make videos, I was just, to be honest, trying to make a 1 to 2 minute video to recap each word of the week. Because I thought, okay, how can I make this resonate for students later on? Maybe they don't remember what I talked about, what I said. They will always remember it because I have it in video form on YouTube for them to always find later. Whether it's months later, year later, 5 years later, 10 years later down the road, right? But, you know, the funny thing is, I started off with that. Then, a few videos later, I tried to add more and learn to edit and add effects and a little music, right? And from there, I found a format. And I created shorts for each of my videos, highlighting the key moments and sayings from those videos. And you know the funny thing, Pie Guy? What is it, Mr. Brodeur? What's the funny thing that you're about to say? Well, Pie Guy, the funny thing is I would have never have thought my videos, my shorts, I would use on a weekly and, to be personally honest, on a daily basis to teach with these words in class and to share on social media to help anyone that comes across them. That's the key to keep pushing yourself forward, to trying and doing new things so you can really do your best with what you've got now, and over time you can evolve and learn and get better. That's exactly what I did. And hopefully, if any of you guys go back and look at my early videos to later, you can see that evolution and you can see that growth. And that is the beauty of, hopefully, Brodeurland as a whole. I love it, Mr. Brodeur. I love this idea of you went out there and you tried something, and then from there, it led to something else. And at the end, you found a creative and a practical way to really share your videos and your creations. Yeah, most definitely, Pie Guy. And it makes me think of this quote by Oprah. And she says this: on my own, I will just create. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I'll create something else. I don't have any limitations on what I think I could do or be. Mr. Brodeur, I feel like this quote literally just sums up everything you just shared. Exactly, Pie Guy. And you know what? That's why I wanted to share this quote, because this quote talks about going out there, really giving it your all, your 110%. Don't give yourself limitations or even tell yourself, I can't do this. No, you have to give it your all. Even if, listen to this, everybody, even if your all may lead to failure, You learn, you get better, and eventually you gain the growth and knowledge to succeed. There are so many things I think of now when I look back, when I reflect on my life and the goals and the things that I've set out to do, that if I personally set limits on myself, I would have never accomplished them. Well, Mr. Brodeur, can you elaborate on that? Like what? What are some examples? Well, Pie Guy, like, for example, creating my 2 books and writing them and printing them and having them actually come to life in book form and, of course, video forms as well. Also, my Word of the Week videos, right? If I would have set the limit at just sitting in front of the camera, talking for maybe 2 minutes, I would have never created a week full of videos on a word to help energize and motivate my students and others. I mean, eventually, even doing this podcast where we take those words of the week and add another layer, right? Where we dive in a little bit more to these words. You see, Pie Guy, when you give it your all, you have no regrets. And if anybody's going to remember anything from this podcast episode, I really want you to tune into what I'm about to say with regrets. Because when you hold back, you have regrets. Because you start to ask yourself, could I have done it? What if I did this instead? You don't want to have those questions or live like that. Definitely not. You have to ask yourself, if I give it my all, let's see what happens. If I put everything on the table, if I succeed, awesome. Let me see if I can repeat that success and keep going. But if I fail, you know what? That's fine too. You know why? Because I have no regrets. And I put it all on the table. Now that I put it all out there, I know what I need to improve on and what I need to do to keep pushing forward. Success or failure, it doesn't matter. We can all keep moving. We can all keep improving. We can all keep pushing the horizon to the next level. Again, self-reliance is all about getting to that next level so we can keep working on becoming that best version of ourselves. Don't set those limits. Keep creating and keep pushing yourself to the best of your ability. Pie-tacular, Mr. Brodeur. I got goosebumps now. And you know what? The whole regret thing, that is so powerful. You are so right. If we would just give it our all and really reflect back later, we would not have the regret, but our mind would be open to the lessons we could learn from those mistakes and even those successes so we could blaze a path forward. Exactly, Pie Guy. The question is, can I? Can you? Can everybody listening get to that point? It's hard. It's difficult, but it's so rewarding. Well, Mr. Brodeur, it is that time where we have to start wrapping things up. So, is there anything else you would like to share before we have to go? Sure thing, Pie Guy. I want to close by talking about this quote right here, and it goes like this. A bird in a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because it trusts not on the branch, but on its own wings. Always trust and believe in yourself. You see, self-reliance is all about trusting yourself, believing in yourself. Just like a bird that goes and lands on a branch. It knows, hey, if that branch breaks, it knows it's no big deal. I can fly away. I can spread my wings. I can fly away, push myself forward, and get to the next branch. Get to the next landing point, spot, whatever you want to call it, right? That's what we need to do in life. We are going to have failing moments and times where, you know what, things don't go our way. Believe me, I look back at the start of Brodeurland now and the growth from then and now, it is like tenfold, right? But you have to start somewhere. You have to make a jump and see what happens. Tell yourself you're capable. You got this. Trust in yourself and don't dwell on the past, but look forward. That's the key. Can you spread your wings and go out and see if you can grow? Try again. Become that best version of yourself. It's like lighting a match. You see, you need a little friction to get that spark going from that match. But once you do, you have a light that becomes your spark that you can pass to the next candle, your next goal, your next idea, to start something and see how far you can go. But the question I have for you is, are you going to get to that next level? Are you going to push yourself and not set those limits, but see how far you can go? That, my friends, is the key to self-reliance. Push yourself and know you can, you're capable, and you matter. You've got a purpose. So let's see how far you can go starting right now. Pie-tacular, Mr. Brodeur. Thanks again for sharing in today, diving into this word, self-reliance. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a little fired up and ready to reflect back on my experiences and the things I've learned throughout the years and even this podcast, and see if I can spread my wings and try something. I'm ready to believe in myself. I'm ready to spread my wings and see what I'm made of, Mr. Brodeur. Amazing. And remember, my friends, stay infinite. And just like Mr. Brodeur said, don't put limits on yourself. Expand your horizons. And Mr. Brodeur, if you could finish us in style. Sure thing, Pie Guy. So always remember, you all make each day a special day by just you being you. There's no one in the whole world like you except you, and I like you just the way you truly are. It's good that you exist, but here's the deal. You got to go out there. You got to believe in yourself. You got to trust in yourself. And you got to know that you're capable, that you're possible, that you've got a purpose. And can you, yes you, get to that next level of self-reliance so you can become that best version of yourself. So until next time, Brodeur out. Peace.